Greetings from the Red Butte Garden in Salt Lake City, Utah. Today is Friday, October 28th, 2022. It's about 12:13 p.m. Mountain Time. So we just entered from the second level of the Visitor Center at the Red Butte Garden. They've got some nice fall foliage, pumpkins, I assume squashes and gourds, all strung about. But part of the Red Butte Garden is that they have something called Botanical going on. The Mystery of Red Butte Garden. This year's celebration features the legendary golden pollinators of Nefertiti on loan from the Museum of Fantastical Antiquities. Plants from around the world are visiting the garden to see these ancient treasures, but before their grand unveiling in the Hero Garden, the golden pollinators are discovered missing. Have no fears, Sherlock Chauncey, the world's most famous gnome detective, is on the case. Join Sherlock as you investigate the crime scene, gather clues, and uncover which plant is the thief. Can you solve the mystery? So this right here is Sherlock Chauncey, the world's most famous gnome detective, but he needs our help. I like how they tie in some type of cool theme to the whole event. I don't know how much time we'll actually be looking at the garden signs, but we'll try to peek at a few of them, like Weeping White Spruce or the Black-Eyed Susan. Someone stole the golden pollinators of Nefertiti from the herb garden. I think one of the plants visiting the garden for Botanical is the thief. Now at nighttime, they have like the garden lit up, so I'm sure all these yellow things on the ground would be lit up. But who took the golden pollinators? Let's solve this mystery together by hunting for clues and investigating each suspect. We can start by exploring the crime scene. So we're going to kind of follow the path they're trying to guide us on for Botanical. And fortunately, I was worried they wouldn't have the sign up, but they do. Start this way. So when they say start this way, I assume they're referring to that direction. Unless it's pointing in here. I think it's actually pointing in here. The Museum of Fantastical Antiquities. Golden pollinators of Nefertiti. The temperature today is, when I first left this morning, it was like 30 degrees, feels like 24, but in the hour and a half to get here, it's warmed up, so it is about, I want to say 48 degrees now. Golden currant from the gooseberry family. Douglas fir tree. So this is the crime scene with the yellow tape, right? So I know there's stuff here like mummified cat, amulets, glass perfume bottles, statues of Ra, Isis, and Horus. Those suckers look pretty good though. That's part of the crime scene, I guess, right? So we gotta, I assume the markers are specifically part of the crime. So like maybe this Joy of Eating Insects by Ivana Eat Flies. I wanna eat flies. So something that has a joy of wanting to eat flies. Something about suckers and lollipops. What are golden pollinators, by the way? Golden pollinators were discovered in the tomb of Nefertiti during the excavation in 1889 performed by the Egyptian Botanical Society. Based on the markings in the tomb, it is believed the Egyptian royalty prized in the golden pollinators as an appetizer addition to any meal. They are also thought to be sacred to Osiris, the god of agriculture, afterlife, and vegetation. The pollinators are mummified insects covered in gold leaf and precious gems. So scene number 2 looks to be some type of like green gook. And also these exhibits were like busted into as part of the crime scene. What is clue number 4 here at the scene? An Australia passport, and it also has the green gook on it. Interesting crime scene. Oh, number 1. I didn't see the number 1 before. It appears to be like footprints. Now those look like human-sized footprints, right? And this is the fringe tree. I wonder if the fringe tree has any significance. Alright, so I don't see them necessarily directing us what direction to go next, but we'll go this way. This is the medicinal garden. I do have a map online though, so I'm going to go ahead and peek at that. Oh no, I lost the map. Go to my downloads folder, Botanical, and open it up. This is the same map as what we saw earlier. So we went this way. We're just at the crime scene. Yeah, and it says to go to the medicinal gardens next, so that's where this is. I think we're just passing through the medicinal gardens. The next actual exhibit we're going to is going to be called Gordy Ghost Plants Parasitic Graveyard. Cactus family. I've made a lot of videos in the Utah area, and I've been wanting to check out Red Butte Gardens, but kind of wanted to tie it into a theme too. Granted, I'm sure the garden itself is nice to look at, but I'm always a sucker for that theme, and the admission for this was $14 to get in. London plane tree, American ginseng, let me try to read one of these. So this is the upright wild ginger used in Chinese medicine to help stomach illness. Oh, there is a sign here. Look, is that a golden pollinator? I bet the thief hid them in the garden. Count how many you find hidden around Botanical, then enter your final tally online at Red Butte Garden BOOtanical.org for a chance to win a free garden membership. How many pollinators can you find? The game is afoot. Okay, well hopefully we didn't miss any already, but I see what they're talking about. So they're kind of giving us, I assume, like a clue to start looking for this. But are we to assume that both of those are golden pollinators? Like the butterfly and the other insect? I would imagine so. So let's make sure I take a picture of that. So we'll try to keep a tally. That's going to be very difficult though to spot them all. But it will help keep my head on a swivel a little bit. I don't know, should we keep looking around now, like, to spot them extra, or should we move on to the next section? See, they're hooking me in. Alright, we'll move to the next section, start looking more in the next section, because I feel like if they put the sign here as like a clue to start looking for them as you go through. Next up is the fragrance garden. Gordy ghost plant, suspect dossier. Name Gordy ghost plant, botanical name Montrapa unfloria gordy. Why are they a suspect? Gordy ghost plant has a ghostly appearance. He doesn't have chlorophyll, the compound in plants that gives them green color. Because of this, Gordy has thick white stems and grows white nodding flowers. It also means he must steal the nutrients he needs to grow from other plants. He uses a special type of fungus that attaches to the roots of other plants and transfers their nutrients to him. Oh, so this is interesting. So I guess they're gonna show us like clues, and maybe that would explain why there was like footprints earlier for number one, because it could be like taking a human form, so to speak. So let's try to walk around the fragrance garden. Wild strawberry, Korean mountain ash. Oh, there we go. I spotted one. So what is it? We're up to 3 now. Yeah, I don't know if the exhibit like really is meant to continue up this direction. We'll keep it within the confines of this inner area here. You can see they have like kind of these ghosts within the trees. Uh-oh, they're up to 4. Where did I miss one? Should I go back and look for one? Here's the Compost Cafe. Let's go back and read the sign here. So they're giving you some clues. A parasitic plant lives on another plant. It steals from some of the most of the nutrients it needs from the lost plant. It doesn't give the lost anything in return. Stealing nutrients is an adaptation. How would this help a parasite plant survive better? So it's showing ghost plant, corpse lily, and mistletoe. As silly as it may sound, because we're in like a nice Red Butte Garden to begin with, this is the type of thing I love. Is like when they have special exhibits like this that are specific to Botanical. Compost Cafe, as you saw earlier, there's one of those things. So my count's up to 4, but I cheated and heard them say 5 earlier, so maybe we'll go with 5. Rare and exotic pies from South America. So I guess this is supposed to be the shape of a pie. Chlorophyll pie. So he's eating that to try to be able to become more like a plant? I don't know. Did you know mistletoe is a parasitic plant? It grows on the branches of deciduous and leafy trees. Whoa, some bees buzzing around. They also have some gravestones here. Can't quite read it because of the sign, but it's a nice touch to have like the graveyard setting. Sorry for the delay there. I was taking a photo. Rose Anyland. Here lies Alphaba Trop. Ugh, there's a brain splattered on that one. What the heck? I feel like there's got to be more of those things that we're missing. All right. Well, it's saying that, again, that's where we came from, sort of. It would just lead us back up to the entrance to the fragrance section. Maybe on the bench, do we see any? Just looking on the back side of these things. Alright. We'll chalk it up that there weren't any more of those things here. That's the end of the fragrance garden. There's the water conservation garden up here. Oh, here's a clue note about the mossy footprints. Alright, so let's try to figure out where we're at. We started here, went to the crime scene, went through the medicinal gardens. This was the fragrance garden, Gordy Ghost Plants Parasitic Graveyard. So next we should be going that way, past the Great Wall and into Bagheera Batflower's Enchanted Forest. Alright, so we're going to not go to the water conservation garden. Probably a safe bet that you could follow like these little lights that are on the ground if you're trying to make sure you're going along the botanical path.
Any mossy footprints? What's down there? Look around and see if there's anything down there that we need to check out.
What do we have here? Suspect the Bagheera Batflower. Well, the map makes it sound like it's a much further walk away. Like I thought I was going to be walking a while. Bagheera Batflower has wild, bizarre, and unusual flowers. They are maroon to dark purple and look like a bat with open wings when in bloom. Even Bagheera's fruits look like sleeping bats hanging upside down. He also has long whisker-like bracts. Loves pretending to be a bat. Often has moss on his clothes.
Bagheera Batflower has a wild, bizarre, and unusual flowers. They are maroon to dark purple and look like a bat. Look, this is the bat. It looks like a bat. And there is one. Even Bagheera's
So you can see during the nighttime some of this would be lit up like the butterfly shape. What the heck is that guy supposed to be? I assume that's not one of the creatures. This almost looks like a crime scene over here, though.
Stay to the right, please.
Yeah, isn't that pretty cute? You got like the mouse or rat with the scissors, using it to cut down the plant. Oh, I just saw one. There's one on the toad there. Giant grasshopper. That's what they were called, golden pollinators. So I guess we're up to 6 now. What do we have over here? It's like, oh, I see another golden pollinator on the tree stump here. candid flies. Look at those shoes there. Could those be the type of shoes that are from the crime scene?
Let's go up and see it. Ask him, say, did you see the golden pollinator?
There's another one. So what is that, 7? I'll have to go back to my pictures and remember the count. Okay, I'm going to assume that we're not going this way. Let's try to refresh where we're at. So we just passed by Bagheera's bat flower, enchanted forest. And I believe we're going that way? To Dulce Datura's poisonous apothecary. Gooey fingerprints smeared on the display case. So that's what that clue number 2 note was about, the gooey fingerprints.
Guys, remember the gooey fingerprints smeared on the display case? That was one of the clues, remember?
Looks like we've got a tent up here. I don't know if we enter a certain way, but Dulce Datura. Trumpet-shaped white flowers. They have sweet honeysuckle-like scent and open at night and attract pollinators. Her leaves and seeds packed a real punch. Enjoys late-night parties with hawk moths. Her cooking makes people sick. Often has sand on her clothes and shoes since she lives in a desert. Her BFFs include her poisonous pals Bobby Belladonna and Ali Olander. I'm like spinning my head all around, thinking to myself, like, am I missing any of those golden creatures? Did you know poisonous plants are harmful or even deadly to humans or animals when touched or eaten enough? Being poisonous is an adaptation. How would being poisonous help a plant survive better? Okay, see, now the footprints didn't look like that. Those are like high heels. You wouldn't think those are like creating the mossy footprints, but there's one of those golden things back there. Oh, there's one on the side of the brewing pot. So what do we got? 8, 9, I think. At nighttime, that might move. I don't know. There's one on the shelf here. See right there, that blue one. Let's see what's for dinner, huh? Moonlight smoothie recipe and seasonal salad. Oh,
Ooh, the suspect is Dulce Datura. Come here,
there's another pollinator.
Dulce Datura has a trumpet-shaped white flower.
I'm losing count, but oh, and another one down there. Boy, this place had a boatload of them. One of two things. Either I really missed them earlier. What is this clue?
Oh, is this the? I bet this is the plant.
I'll have to kind of dissect that clue later. P plus up. What is P equals M? Change it to an M? Oh no. Poom plus ski. I don't know. Pumpkin patch. Car minus C, AR plus cow plus S, scarecrow. Pumpkin patch scarecrow. I think that's what it meant.
Do you think we can get out of here before she eats us?
But yeah, I swear there were like 5 or 6 bugs in there that I saw, whereas the other exhibits I saw maybe 2 at most. So one of two things, like I said, either that, I don't know, it probably could be just be random, or maybe I missed a ton of them in the other exhibits. Red eastern flowering dogwood. A small tree with low branching pyramidal habit that blooms in early spring. I like how they have the animal decorations mixed in between. Even though this isn't part of the exhibit, let's take a little detour over to the water pavilion. Alright, and then I'll try to do a little bit of a faster walk to get to the next section. Just to create a little bit of space between the group that's behind me. Not that I don't mind, being in the same vicinity, but it makes it a little easier to slow down and check out the clues so I'm not in their way. Here's the rose garden, and we're going to go this way. Box of candid flies. Clue note number 3. This way. Alright, so what is our pumpkin patch clue here? Peter Porcupine Tomato. Is one prickly character. He has a furry orange stems covered in sharp orange thorns. He grows bright purple flowers that change into orange fruits during the summer. Enjoys punk rock music and the Great British Bake Off. Obsessed with pollinators. Often has moss on his clothes and shoes since he lives in a rainforest. His cousin is the infamous Bobby Belladonna. Interesting. I'm going to try to take a selfie in this area because I like it. Maybe I can back up to here. Alright, so you've got pollinators welcome, pollinators welcome, pollinators welcome. There's like signs everywhere, like as if they're inviting them to come here. But I don't see any pollinators, do we? Any golden pollinators at least? Did you know poke plants have spines, thorns, and prickles on them? Like the cactus right there. Puncture vine is a poke plant. Where are the golden pollinators? I don't see any. You would think they would stand out here, especially because of the contrast in blue, the blue color of them versus. This is like a. Almost looks like a death trap to catch golden pollinators, doesn't it? Like if they would fly into it, it stabs them. Nope, nothing in there either. Here's music CDs hanging from the. I see shoes on the ground. And they're covered in moss. Bobby with a little painting toward him. Oh, there is a pollinator down there. Oh no, you're fine. Oh, there's another one attached to the pumpkin. That one actually did blend in. See right there?
Do you see another one? With the big cactus? Abby, look at me.
Yeah, I went back there. I missed that one, and then I heard them pointing it out, so I was like, all right. You can use the help. See, the other group did help me this way. So we're going through this section. I feel like I'm up to like 14 on the count now. Oh, suspect dossier. Seraphina sundew. Covered in little hairs with dew-like drops in her tips, enjoys cooking insect pies, often has moss stuck to her clothes and shoes. Has two sisters, Selma and Sienna.
Oh, new suspect. Seraphina sundew.
Alright, we're saying this way, this way, this way. Where are we going? It's not telling us to go inside, is it? I don't think. Is this the right way? I don't know. It doesn't seem quite clear. Let me check my online map. This feels kind of deserted. We went to the pumpkin patch and the rose garden. I don't know. There's bathrooms here, but yeah, like I said, it doesn't look like an exhibit down there. So we're going to turn around, and actually, I'll stop the video to make sure I'm going the right area. Okay, so I think instead of going that way down that area, I'm supposed to go this direction because I did find the floral walk on the map. Okay, now we're on the right track. Yeah, nice that we had a map with us. Well, here's clue number 4, that Australia passport. Next section is called Suki Strangler Fig's Haunted Jungle. But first we have a sign about clue number 5. The joy of eating insects. I have a feeling that I'm not going to be able to solve this mystery. Maybe if I re-listen to the beginning of my own video later. Ooh, look at this. Suki Strangler Fig. Started life as a seed in the canopy of another tree. Began growing long roots that twisted and wrapped around the trunk of her host tree toward the ground. Her roots slowly became thicker and turned from roots to trunks. Eventually, Suki's trunk strangled her host tree, leaving a hollow area in the center of her trunks. Very competitive, has been known to outcompete other plants for sunlight and nutrients. Enjoys knitting and candle making. Often has moss in her clothes and shoes since she lives in a rainforest. Well, all these people have moss. Now, interestingly enough though, this like muddy path, I could see that leaving a good amount of moss and whatnot. We got a skeleton there and some bats. Now this area probably is really funnily lit up at nighttime in like a unique way. See how they have like the lights attached to the trees? Ah, look at that big spider on the other end. Oh, and see, look at that, the tiny golden thing right there. Look at the skeleton's basket. You got another one. More high heels. That's kind of weird that there's like a fan over there. I mean, I assume that's part of the crime scene thing. Bunch of balls of something. I don't know the significance of that. I don't think, yeah, that one's not a golden pollinator, it's just a bug. Well, that poor skeleton is really decapitated. Here's the Australia passport. And again, something like this, that doesn't look to be a golden pollinator, so I'm not counting those because they don't have like the shiny beads on them like the other ones do. Or even something like that. Like, right? We shouldn't be counting those. Yeah, but they have so many of them here, so I'm going to say... Oh, there's one golden pollinator there. Yeah, so there's a clear distinction between it. So I'm not going to count those ones that we saw. There's another one in the tree. Okay. So we exited the enchanted forest. There's one more thing remaining, and that's called Suspect Alley. Oh. See, I didn't think they would have ones like on some of these exhibits that aren't in the area, but there is a golden pollinator on the ground there. Along with like a caged green monkey. I don't know what that significance of that is. We've investigated all the suspects and gathered all the clues. Which plant do you think stole the golden pollinators of Nefertiti? Make your final guess and use the magnifying glass on the next sign to reveal the answer. Well, unfortunately I don't even remember the names of of all these things. You can see the original crime scene is right up there. So we'll go ahead and try to find this magnifying glass, and we'll spoil the result because you can pause and you make your own guess. Serafina Sundu stole the golden pollinators. She wanted to cook them into a pie and eat them. Is that the one that had like is that the station that had all the like inside the tent earlier? Because I guess that would have been my guess because there were so many creatures in there, but let me check through my pictures and find out. No, that was Dulce. So, who was the one with the pie? It wasn't Begriva Bat. I know, I do remember seeing the pie. Alright, so that leaves us back to the beginning. Oh, it was the very first person, I think. No, that was Gordy Ghost. That's where we saw the pie. Oh, well, it must have been a different pie. I'll have to check which one it was again, but if you enjoyed this video with Sherlock Chauncey that we were playing at Botanical, feel free to hit the like button, give us a subscribe, and happy Halloween, everyone, outside of Red Butte Garden. We will see you next time.